Welcome to the Passionpreneur Experience, where I examine the thoughts, energy, and strategy a side hustler needs to grow their entrepreneurial dreams, all while they work their corporate 9-to-5 day job. I'm your host, Bridget Cobb. Now let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Passionpreneur Experience. I am exceptionally excited that you are listening to this episode today because I am going to share something that has made a huge impact on my life, and I'm confident that it can make a huge impact on yours. So I'm really excited that you're here, that you've tuned in for this week, and let's get started. Let's jump into it. Today's topic is coaching. I want to share a little bit with you about the journey that I have taken with coaching, how it's had an impact on my life, and really what coaching is all about, what it can bring, what it can offer someone that welcomes it into their plan to succeed and their plan to grow. Coaching essentially is a partnership between the coach and the client. And where coaching can really shine is that it gives the client, the coachee, an opportunity to think in a different way, to challenge the norms, to challenge the deep-seated beliefs that they wouldn't normally get the opportunity to take a deep look at. The purpose of coaching is really to take someone that is functional, that has gotten to where they've gotten, and are okay with the results, maybe not, maybe just ho-hum about what they've been able to put out into the world, but there's a burning passion. There's something inside of them that says, I can do more. I can achieve more. I have a big dream, a big purpose that I'm not going towards, but it's there in me. It's innate. And by working with a coach, you're able to leap forward towards that and develop a plan, develop a strategy, but most importantly, the mindset to get you there. That's really the power. So I wanted to share a little bit about how I've taken this journey myself. And I think it started for me about 4 years seriously, where I was really looking into how I could use coaching best. But I knew inherently, since I started working, that this was my calling. You know, when you just know something inherently inside of you that this is what you're supposed to do, this is where you're supposed to be, it's very powerful to listen to that little voice and let it shine, let it take hold, because it's absolutely magic when you get on the right path. For me, essentially, it was about fitting it in. I understood that I had a deep desire to connect with people. I understood that I fed off of others' potential because I saw what was there and I wanted to be there. I wanted to walk alongside them as they discovered it as well. And I managed to fit coaching in, essentially, in all the jobs I ever had, whether that be as a mentor, as a consultant, in different ways. I was able to fit a coaching element into that role, even though that might not necessarily have been my role or my full-time job in that corporate space. It wasn't until about 4 years ago that I really started to intensify my journey and actually started getting coached myself. That was a new journey for me. Up until that point, it was really me giving out but not receiving. And I think at that point, that's when things really turned around. It's amazing when you can sit back and scream and shout about the value of something and then never really take it on board yourself. To this day, I don't know where I was going with that, but it finally hit me that, oh, Bridget, you really want to do something amazing with your life? How about get some coaching? So once I started down that path, it was kind of no holds barred at that point. I was able to take a deep look into what drove me, how I made decisions, where I got my energy, how I lost my energy, and start to really understand how to maximize my strengths, what I was capable of doing, what I love to do, and then minimize or get rid of the distraction and those little thought gremlins, those little thoughts that come in and just try to take you down or drag you down, slow you down. I was able to find a really powerful way to walk the right path for me. So I want to share with you today a little bit about how the power of coaching could benefit anyone that is kind of ready to stop the procrastination, to take that big dream, take that bag, if you will, big, hairy, audacious goal off the shelf, dust it off, and say, okay, it's time. Enough procrastinating, enough waiting, enough being scared or intimidated or feeling like I'm not good enough. It's time to go for this, mofo. I'm doing this thing, and all I need is a partner in crime to help me get the tools that I need to work through this. And that's where I think coaching is such an awesome, awesome tool. I feel like there are kind of three main elements to coaching that make it super powerful. I want to share those with you, and let's just jump right into it. The first one I want to share is awareness. Now, awareness is powerful because, as I like to say, if you can't see it, you can't fix it. We walk around every single day with very deep-seated beliefs and assumptions and interpretations of the world around us. And all of those deep-seated thoughts shape how we feel, how we show up, the types of actions we take, and ultimately our results. Some of those thoughts, in fact, a lot of those thoughts, do not serve us. They are not true. They do not drive us towards action. They intimidate us. They hold us back. But we've been thinking them for so long that we can't tell the difference anymore. And in a lot of cases, we don't even understand that we've created them. It's of our own fruition. We own those thoughts. But it's really hard sometimes to recognize that. So one of the powers that I was able to realize through coaching is that I became hyper aware. I became super conscious of the thoughts that I was creating in my day-to-day life. It sounds simple. It actually is simple, but it's not easy. There's a difference. So with coaching, the beauty is that your coach holds that space for you. They ask empowering questions. They get curious. They are a flashlight or a mirror when you need it, saying, did you just hear what you said there? Let's unpack that. Where did that come from? When you think that, what kind of action do you take off of it? And it's amazing what you can see in a very short period of time. Oh yeah, where the heck did that thought come from? And I don't even know what it's doing there. I can tell you one thing that it's doing. It's stopping me from moving forward. It's slowing me down. It's making me fearful. But other than that, it serves no purpose. So awareness is a powerful, powerful element of coaching that can really open your eyes to how you've gotten to where you've gotten. And again, you might be at a place where you're like, yeah, I'm ticking along. I'm getting some things done. I've got bigger dreams. I've got other things that I want to accomplish. But, win some, lose some. It doesn't need to be like that. You can have that goal. You can reach that goal with a little bit of work around your mindset and what you are thinking on a day-to-day basis. Awareness is the key. That's where you start. There's a second phase that we move into, and that is acceptance. And by acceptance, I mean ownership. So once we start looking at the thoughts floating around in our head, a coach is able to work with you and work alongside you as you take full ownership over those thoughts. There's a tendency when a thought is not serving us, or when it is negative, or when it is fearful for us, to put the ownership somewhere else. that person made me feel that way. Well, it's the circumstances at play that caused that. Or, I learned that from my parents, let's say. So we're quick to give those away and say, I can't do anything about that. That's just me. That's just how I am. Acceptance and ownership allows us to take that power back and say, I did create that. That is me, but I have power over it and I can change it if I want to. And I can. And as you start to take that ownership back, it's amazing how quickly you say, I do want to, because I see exactly what I'm getting out of it. And I don't like it. I could get more. It's not the best I could get. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to take ownership over it, and I'm going to work towards changing it. And it's a beautiful thing to work alongside your coach who will track that with you and help you uncover. So it's about awareness, and then it's about acceptance. I'm aware of that thought. I own that thought. Not only do I own it, I now get to decide, do I want to keep it or not? Is it holding me back, or is it serving me? The third phase of this is action. And action is really where it gets exciting, because you've now become aware of your thoughts. All the secret ones, all the unconscious ones floating in the background. You take ownership over those thoughts. And now you are ready to do something about it. And that's where your action plan comes in. You're now working actively with your coach to say, how am I going to have more of what I want? And fill in the blank. Is that happiness? Is it success? Productivity? Is it creativity? Is it personal drive? What is it? Because I have become aware of what's holding me back. I've taken ownership over it. I have decided to change that, to be productive in my thoughts, create new ones, and now I'm going to reap the rewards of all that work. And the added benefit of working with a coach is accountability. This has been a huge one for me. I love accountability. As you guys know, I've talked about it before. I work with a mastermind group, and it happens to be a group of coaches, which is a total benefit for me. So I get coached on a regular basis through this group, and the accountability part is powerful. I am able to go to that group with all my excuses, why I didn't get this done, why I was fearful over here, what's holding me back over there. And they're holding me to it. They're asking me the questions to get me thinking. They're prompting and giving me inspiration and offering wisdom. And it is so powerful for me. Every time I leave that group, I am jazzed. I am ready to go back out and rededicate myself. Or I have a moment of celebration to say, not only did I say I was going to do it, I frickin' did it. And now look where I am. And now look what I learned. So the relationship between the coach and the client is a really fascinating one. It's an opportunity to get really honest with yourself in a space of no judgment, while you formulate a plan, and there is somebody there walking alongside you as you do it and helping you see your clearest path. I have to say, I don't know if you can tell, but this is my jam. I love this symbiotic relationship. I love the support. I love the accountability, as I mentioned. And ultimately, what I really love is my own output, is what I get out of it, how I act, how I see the world. And I can't think of anything more energizing than the work that I've put in as I've gotten coached and as I coach. The tools that I've learned and the strategies put in place. So I want to share this with you because I believe right now, especially as we're in this time of COVID and there's a lot of opportunity for us to sit here and say, I can't. I can't. And I know that I was sitting there as well in that same mindset until, again, I took a look at that thought and said, no, I can. And I can do X. Maybe I'm not doing everything that I was planning. Maybe I'm doing some. Maybe I'm doing all of it. That's what I work out. And I really analyze, do I need to throw all of this or put it all down? Is it possible to do some? Is it possible to do all? Why can't I challenge that thought? I really feel like at any time, there's opportunity for you to see your full potential and to run towards it. So I'm really excited, guys. The reason I want to call your attention to this is I'm excited to say I'm actively taking clients now. And I want to give you the opportunity to come forward and investigate a little bit. See if coaching could make an impact for you and for what you want to do for your big dream. Before you start your walk down a path, any new journey, there is one important part that kind of kickstarts the whole thing, that starts the forward motion, and that is making a definitive decision. And this part is really in your court. It's up to everybody out there to make a definitive decision to act. And it's we can explore, we can look into different options, we can research till our eyeballs fall out, but ultimately it's that decision that we make in our minds to say, come hell or high water, this is my action plan and it's getting done. And when we make that ultimate decision, it's time to move forward. Act on it, trust it, and move forward. Now, I've got a couple of opportunities to help you along the way, especially when it comes to that very first step, which is making a definitive decision. If you're struggling with how to pick up that goal, how to get started, how to just push it so you can start to get some momentum, you've got to first dislodge it from its resting place. It might have been sitting there for a while, gathering dust and kind of sinking into the earth. And this is your opportunity to start rocking it back and forth so that you can get that first push and get the ball rolling. If you need help with that, reach out to me. I offer a complimentary discovery session. And what that is an opportunity for a complimentary coaching session where we talk about that passion that lies underneath, that goal, that vision that you've been putting on the shelf and can't quite pick up and run with. So all of this to say that it very well may be that you have a goal, a passion, a vision for yourself that you have had on a shelf for just a little bit too long. It's been sitting there, giving you the stink eye from across the room, saying, pay attention to me. I'm still here. You can still feel me. And you've been pushing it off. You've been avoiding eye contact. If you're listening to this today and you know that's you, and trust me, I knew it was me. I knew very well it was me. It took some powerful questions one day from my partner to say, well, I love the question he asked me, which is, what would you do if you had $100 million? It just triggered in my mind. If I had all the resources I needed and was wanting for nothing, what would I do? And instantly I said, I would be a coach. I would be coaching all day, every day. And it was so clear. If you can get to that point, if you can answer that question, what would you do if resources were unlimited and you lacked for nothing, you wanted for nothing? What would you be doing right now? Get that vision in your head, get that feeling in your head, and move to phase 2. Ball still in your court. Phase 2 is make a definitive decision to act. So now is the time where you say, I've done enough research on this. I've thought about it. I've weighed the pros and cons. I've pushed it off. I've asked a friend. I've phoned a friend. I've done all the lifelines. it's time to act. But you've got to make that decision first, and you need to make it for yourself. It's really important to come to that very intentional decision to move forward. And I do want to help you with this because it's not always that easy to come to that decision, especially if that dream's been sitting on the shelf collecting dust for quite some time. It's like, how do you rock the big boulder back and forth to kind of dislodge it from the earth so that you can get the momentum going, so you can get the ball rolling? Well, if you need help with that, I offer a complimentary discovery session. The discovery session is there as a complimentary coaching session to help you make that definitive decision to move or to not move. Am I going to put that away because it's actually not my passion and I've been holding on to it for no reason? Or is this something that is driving me? It's part of my purpose. It's part of my life mission, and it's time to act on it. So I want to offer that to you as a starting point. If you're past that point, if you've made the decision and you know that this is your life purpose and you are ready to pick that ball up, then head over to bridgetcobbcoaching.com and you can contact me right now to get that coaching journey started. And I would be more than happy to start that journey with you because I think it's available to all of us right now. I'm really excited for the things coming up this year. It's already been an amazing year as I've unfolded some of the things I've discovered in myself through working with a coach and from being coached. And I would love to share that with you. So answer that question for yourself. Take a second to think about what that passion looks like, what that drive is. When is the last time you really picked it up, dusted it off, and examined it and said, what am I doing about you? What have I done lately to take a step towards you? And if you need some help unpacking that, then contact me. Give me a call. You can get me at my website. You can get me on Instagram. You know all the places. I'll have a link in the show notes where you can click and just get to me, to my contact page, and give me a shout. All right, but I feel like I want to share this powerful tool with you now because it's so relevant to where we are in this day and age with a lot of heavy clouds hanging over our heads. There is opportunity for growth and there is opportunity to step towards your dreams right now. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening today. And I hope that you leave this episode inspired. I'm inspired. I can't wait to get back to work. And I will see you back here next time on the Passionpreneur Experience. Passionpreneurs, are you ready to take that big dream off the shelf and put it into motion? Well, let's do it. Head on over to bridgetcobbcoaching.com for more information about how to work with me as your one-on-one coach. It's time to put that dream into motion. Now let's get started.